Oh, there it is. Hey, sports fans, PMZ Sports Chaos. And we're about to talk a little football again. The North, this time the AFC North. PB, you know what? I've been thinking this could be the most competitive division of all.
It could be. It could be. Right now, Vegas has two of these teams anticipated finishing off under 500. So, but but against each other, I agree. I think they beat each other up all the time.
But 8-9, that's why you got to play an 18-game season. I hate to say it, because those two teams could be 8-9, right? So at the end of the day, they technically, in my mind, they're 500 teams or better. But we'll talk about that. Let's start with the Baltimore Ravens. They got the defending MVP, Lamar Jackson. I know you're not a big fan of Lamar. They got Derrick Henry coming to play along with Lamar. That's a big pickup. I know he's got some miles on his body, but when Lamar is your quarterback, kind of a running back as well, what do you think? How does Baltimore look to you this year?
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think the pickup of Derrick Henry is good. They've struggled at running back over the years, between J.K. Dobbins getting injured and Edwards getting, I feel like they've just never been able to put it together at running back.
Injuries. Injuries is what hurts them.
Yeah. And having Henry might actually allow Lamar to not have to rely on running so much. But so 10.5 is the over. I am going slightly under on this. I think they have a tough schedule, and I don't know. They're playing they're playing a first place schedule, right? So
they open with KC. That's a tough game right there. I get that as a loss. Obviously, the division is going to be tough. They get the Bills and the Cowboys, but both those games are at Baltimore, and then they have to go to the Chargers. They got the Phillies as well.
No, Cowboys is at Dallas. Cowboys is at Dallas.
Oh, it's at Dallas? Okay, my bad.
Yeah, that's all right. No, but those first 5 games outside of Vegas, at KC, at Dallas, Buffalo at home, and at Cincy, with the only one in Vegas in the middle there. I could see them going 1-4.
Yeah, as much as I want to say Dallas is going to win, they're not going to win. The only one I see them lose is the KC game. I see them going 3-1 in those 4 games.
I'm not Buffalo?
Sold. Yeah, I'm not sold on Buffalo. They've got no receivers, right? They gave up everybody the wide receiver room, right? So they got no receivers. Josh Allen, to me, is he's a Lamar wannabe, but he throws more interceptions than Lamar, and so I don't see it happen. I'm going to tell you right now, I got these guys 13-4.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
All right. I do have beaten Washington, winning at Tampa. I got them losing at Cleveland. I got them beating Denver, Cincinnati at home. I got them losing at Pittsburgh, believe it or not. I got them splitting Pittsburgh.
I got them splitting into everybody but Cleveland. They sweep Cleveland. I'm not sold on Cleveland because of Deshaun. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
I have them splitting with Cleveland too. I have them losing at home to Philly. I got them losing in Houston. I don't know. I got this team right now at 9-8, a little bit under over 10-5.
Baltimore?
So I got Baltimore at 9-8.
Baltimore. That's a personal foul on you. You're high.
You love Baltimore. You always give Baltimore way too much credit. You give Lamar too much credit. They've been one and done since we started doing this show 5 years ago.
Yeah, but at least they win the division. That's all that matters. Win your division.
They're playing a first place schedule.
I get it.
They open up at Kansas City. This is a tough schedule for this team.
By the way, I got them losing that game, but if they win that game, they win the AFC favorites then. If they win that game.
I disagree.
Let's go to the next one. Cincinnati. That's the other co-favorite, I think, in this division, right?
So there's the team I got at 14-3. So their under is the same as
really?
Yeah, they're the same. They get the same under over as Baltimore, 10.5. I got Baltimore slightly under. I got this team way over. I only have them losing at Cleveland, at Baltimore, and at Dallas.
What about KC? They go to KC. I got them losing at KC.
I got them winning at KC.
Ooh, okay.
Burrowhead. I got them winning there. I think in the regular season, they win that game. They open up New England.
By the way, I got a toss-up game for you, or 2 of them. I think they could lose the Chargers, and believe it or not, they play the Patriots opening week. They could lose that game. They could lose. This team is not ready yet. They haven't had enough time to gel again since the injuries from Joe. And so he's going to take 2 or 3 games to get himself settled again, and we'll see. But I wouldn't be surprised they shockingly lose the Pats, but I got them going 11-6.
All right. I'm a couple games ahead of that. Well, a few games ahead of that because I got them at 14-3. I think this is the team that can knock Kansas City off this year and make it to the Super Bowl.
Okay, we'll see. I'm not sold on the defense, by the way. You name one guy on the defense you think's a stud.
That is a good point.
There you go.
That is a good point.
Case dismissed. They have no they're like the Chargers were 3 years ago. Great offense, no defense. So there you go. All right. Let's go to Cleveland. No one believes in Cleveland, and I don't believe in Cleveland either. Deshaun Watson. Is Deshaun Watson quite possibly the most overrated, overpaid football player in NFL history?
Very well could be. Very well could be. Yeah.
And he's a guy that doesn't want to play anymore. Last year he stubbed his vagina or something like that, and he couldn't play the rest of the year. I mean, that's basically what happened with him, correct?
Yeah. And the under over in Vegas on this team is 8.5. I could see them winning 8 games or 9 games. I think they're like a 500 team. Obviously, you can't go 500 these days with 17 games. I got this team ending up tying for second with Baltimore with that 9-8 record, splitting in the division. They do have the benefit of, a little bit of lighter schedule. But by the way, Cincinnati, they have a last place schedule. So that they finished last year. So that helps them too.
It helps. So I was looking at them going, why is Cincinnati's schedule so much easier than Cleveland? But there you go.
Yeah.
By the way, I see it. All right. So Cleveland does have some tough games. They have to go to Dallas. They have to go to Jacksonville. Here's a game that's going to surprise you, PB. I got them losing in Washington.
Yeah. By the way, that game, the first game of the year, is in Cleveland, not in Dallas. It's in Cleveland. And
are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
All right.
I'm actually the Cowboys are underdogs. They're a 1.5 underdog.
Okay.
In that game. And by the way, that's also the game that Tom Brady's calling. That's his first game as an analyst.
Oh, all right. You know why Dallas wins? Deshaun Watson.
Probably. But that game is in Cleveland. But I still have Dallas winning that game.
But they got to go to Jacksonville. They have to play in Washington. They have to play in Philadelphia. I got those all as losses. They got Miami late in the year. It's at home, but it's still Miami, right? Here's the 2 games. I see them either 9-8 or 8-9. And the 2 games that are going to make that swing happen is what they do with the Chargers and the Saints, believe it or not.
All right. Okay. I mean, I have them I have them beating the Chargers and I have them losing to the Saints in New Orleans. So I got them splitting that one. I got them at 9-8.
I got them 8-9.
All right.
By the way, they actually have the best defensive player in the league. Definitely the division, Myles Garrett, in my mind.
I would agree with that.
That helps out a lot. All right. Here's the one that gets tricky. I hate these guys, but I also respect the coach no end. He never has a losing year, Mike Tomlin. Pittsburgh Steelers, what do you think? By the way, I think they also had the best draft. We didn't mention the draft of any of the other teams because no one had a good draft. I think the steal of the draft was them. The Steelers getting Troy Fantini, who will start at offensive line for them. And the guy they got in the 3rd round, Robin Wilson, which they do this forever. They always find a wide receiver later in the draft. The guy will start and have a great year. I got Robin Wilson being a stud for Michigan.
Yeah. A la Chase Claypool, a la, Deontay Johnson, some of these other guys that they've had over the years. Right. Yes. They do tend to find good receivers late. And I was struggling with this one. The under over in Vegas is 8.5. So Vegas doesn't think that they can go over 500 potentially here with that. And the thing is, like you said, with Tomlin, it seems like he just always figures out a way to basically sniff the playoffs and sniff that like 500 record. This team obviously isn't, to me, they're not a playoff team. To me, if they somehow miraculously do make the playoffs, they're going to be one and done, just like they were last time they made the playoff last year, right?
Yep.
I got this team with a tough schedule starting at Atlanta as a loss. Yep. At Denver, I think they can go and win that game. But then you got the Chargers at home, at Indy, Dallas at home, at Vegas. And I have them actually dropping all 4 of those games. So they're using 1-5 start. It's hard to recover from that. I actually do have them beating the Jets at home. I got them beating the Giants at home, losing at Washington. And then I have them splitting Baltimore and getting swept by Cincinnati.
Oh no,
And then
they split the division. All three teams they split with. I
but
guarantee
then
they
they
split.
down the stretch. Look at that schedule. The last 4 games:
I
at
saw it.
Philly, at Baltimore, Kansas City at home, Cincinnati home. To me, those are 4 losses to end the season too. So if they squeak out one of those, maybe they can win 6 or 7 games. But I got this team at 5-12.
Wow. You're gonna be shocked what I'm gonna tell you right now. I see this team potentially being 11-6. And the differentiator will be the games you already Baltimore, they're gonna split the division. So Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, there's 3 losses right there. I agree with you. They probably get upset like Atlanta at the beginning of the year. The Dallas game, probably. Chargers, Jets, Washington, Philly, Chargers. Those are the 4 games. 5 games. Those 5 games, if they come out of those 5 games and they win 3 of them, that's 11-16 in my opinion. But I'm going to hedge my bet a little bit, 9-8.
9-8. Okay.
Yeah.
You think
They first of all, they got a quarterback finally, at least one. One of those 2 guys. If Russ doesn't play well, I think that Justin Fields is going to. If Russ doesn't play well, Justin Fields is going to be the comeback player of the year.
Okay.
So we'll see.
And not to mention the fact they got that Najee Harris, Jalen Warren 1-2 punch in the backfield. It can be,
So, I mean, their biggest problem has been offensive line, and they drafted the kid that's going to play on offensive line, the kid Troy Fantini, which I said already. I think it's going to get a little better. Oh, by the way, we didn't mention they stole one of Baltimore's best players in Patrick Queen. He's over at he's down in Pittsburgh, right, playing linebacker.
Okay.
That's a big help for them. So they're going to shock people. Trust me. As much as I don't want to see them do it, they're going to shock people, I think, at the end of the day. Mike Tomlin's a good coach.
He is. I'll give him that. And that's why the only reason why I'm not telling people to go out and bet the under here on this 8.5. But I have him at 5 wins, which is considerably under. But you just never know.
Yes. Yeah.
But you just never know with this team.
All right. I got 9-8. I'm sticking with that, even though I think it's going to be better, but I'm going to stick with 9-8.
All right. I love it.
All right. So we go, we've done the North. We're all done.
We got to do East. NFC and AFC East.
Ooh, all right. We'll start with the NFC next week.
All right. Sounds good, my man.
All right. I'll talk to you. Thank you.
Happy birthday again.
Oh, yes. Thanks.
All right. See ya.